Design number 10. Suburban house with attics. This plan was designed for Mr. Halsey R. Stevens, who is listed living at 187 Grand in Newburgh, New York in 1864. I believe this house is now listed as 182 Grand and will leave a link in the description below. This is a study for a simple suburban brick house of moderate size, square on plan, with the exception of a small central projection. And it depends almost entirely on the roof lines for any picturesqueness of character that it may lay claim to. It has been designed and executed for Mr. Halsey R. Stevens, of Newburgh. The plan has been slightly modified in execution, the bedroom on the principal floor being finally arranged as a second parlor. But as this does not improve the plan for our present purpose as an example of peculiar arrangement of accommodation, the original design is adhered to in the illustrations. The house is entered by a recessed porch with a covered balcony overhead. This upper balcony, being also recessed in the brickwork and enclosed at the sides, is always in shadow and materially helps to relieve what would otherwise be a monotonous front. This space is fitted with a glazed frame in the winter, the porch being enclosed with folding doors as soon as the cold weather sets in. The hall extends through the house and communicates with a parlor and bedroom, a dining room, and a veranda in the rear. The main stairs are in this open hall, and on the half landing is a connection through a French casement window with a balcony over the veranda from which a pretty view is gained. The parlor has a large bay window in it, the cornice of the room being carried round the recess that it forms. There is a private door from this room to the bedroom adjoining. It is not generally a desirable plan to give up the space necessary for a bedroom on the principal floor, but circumstances occur in which it is a very great desideratum, and this study may serve to show how, in a simple house, the idea may be developed. It will be perceived that a portion of the veranda is enclosed for a small dressing room to this bedroom, thus making it a far more commodious sleeping apartment than it would otherwise be. The dining room connects with a pantry and is also supplied with a large china closet. The pantry is fitted up with hanging shelf, drawers, and closet, and connects with the kitchen, which is thus shut off from the living rooms, although under the same roof as the rest of the house. An enclosure of the veranda, similar in size to that on the opposite side, supplies a space for a pantry and sink room. The servant's entrance is quite convenient of access from the road, but, at the same time, is shut off by its position from interfering with the privacy of the veranda. A door, where shown near the hall door to veranda, encloses the basement stairs for the use of the kitchen, and a compact flight of stairs from the kitchen itself provides a separate access for the servants to the bedrooms above. This staircase occupies a very small space and is a great addition to the convenience of the house. In the basement is a washroom under kitchen, with an outer entrance, close by servants' entrance, for convenience in carrying out clothes to dry. The remainder of the space is not finished off, and furnishes cellars and furnace room. A straight veranda enclosed on both sides would not, perhaps, be thought sufficiently airy, and a projection is therefore made, as will be seen on reference to the plan, to increase its size and give it a more open effect. This arrangement also adds somewhat to the external appearance of the design, at but little additional expense, while it is calculated to ensure privacy in a suburban house. And in common houses the notion is carried out frequently, in a simple way, by lathing up the ends of verandas, to prevent them from being overlooked by next-door neighbors. Such a veranda as is here shown will be almost as retired as any of the rooms inside the house. Upstairs are 3 full-sized bedrooms and a small bedroom or dressing room, a bathroom and water closet, a linen press, and 2 servants' bedrooms, the latter disconnected with the other apartments. This arrangement is made with the idea that the attics are to be left entirely unfinished for a time, the house being occupied by a small family. But the plan has been, from the first, so arranged that 3 or 4 airy, well-lighted rooms can be fitted up at any future time. And if this should ever be done, the 2 servants' rooms shown on chamber plan might be converted to the use of the family, and the servants' rooms arranged above. In the actual execution of this plan, Mr. Stevens determined, during the progress of the work, to throw the 2 small bedrooms into one, and to finish off a portion of the attic for the use of the servants. It seems desirable, in planning a country house, to locate the principal rooms in such a manner that they may court the pleasant southerly breezes in summer, and the southerly and easterly sun in winter. In some situations it so happens that this cannot be done, except at an entire sacrifice of the pleasantest views, and the general idea of the plan in such cases may require to be modified accordingly. But under ordinary circumstances an architect will so manage matters that the inferior rooms and offices will quietly slide into the uninviting north or northwest corner of the house, and thus occupy that portion of it which can best be spared from the living rooms. There is, however, a disadvantage in this natural arrangement which, if not guarded against, may give trouble, for the water fixtures, being on the north side of the house, may be affected by a severe frost. But this may be avoided in several ways. One plan is to keep all the pipes on the inside partitions of the house and to protect them from any exposure by casing round them and filling in with sawdust or other non-conducting material. This is all that can be done in a house without a furnace, except to carry the kitchen flue through the cistern. But where a furnace is used, the remedy is easy and complete. A 2-inch tin pipe communicating with the hot air chamber should be carried up with the water pipes, and after being continued through the bottom of the cistern, should be coiled once rounded on the inside, and then be left with an open outlet just above the level of the overflow pipe. If the cistern is afterward covered with a partially airtight lid, the result will be found entirely satisfactory, as it has proved in the house plan for Mr. Stevens, and in others over which I have had the control. The roof of this house is covered with the purple and green slate from the Vermont quarries, arranged in stripes, as shown, and the effect, as executed, is very soft and agreeable. The cost was scarcely more than for a shingle roof of good quality, the slate being provided and put on with mortared joints at $7.50 a square. Circumstances, however, were favorable in this instance, and $8 per square is as little as this slate can be generally laid for. It will be seen that a special arrangement is made for the carrying off of the rainwater, the pipes being fitted with ornamental heads and connected with the gutters by brackets brought down onto the brick piers at the angles. Some additional individuality is thus given to the external appearance of the house, and attention is requested to this part of the design, as it refers to a point that is very generally left unstudied, many designs being, in consequence, marred by an awkward, obtrusive arrangement, or rather want of arrangement, of the rainwater pipes. The cost of this house, including the fence shown in the vignette, and a moderate-sized stable and coach house, was $7,875. A recommendation by an architect to his client to build a larger house than he or his family require for comfort would seem, at the first glance, to be invariably bad advice to give to a prudent person. But experience shows that it is sometimes the best course to pursue. If, for example, a gentleman, whose requirements are comparatively small, purchases a valuable lot in the neighborhood of a thriving country town, he will certainly damage the selling value of his property by erecting on it a house that cannot be easily converted into a tolerably roomy family residence. It is, therefore, in such a case, a better investment for him to expend somewhat more at first, and arrange his design so that further accommodation can, without much trouble, be obtained, than to cut and pare his house down to the exact measure of his own immediate needs, without reference to its probable market value. Some men spend, while others spare, extravagantly, and either habit is found to be inconveniently unprofitable in the long run.